So, Cade Cunningham, thrower of daggers. Maybe we start there. Can you take us through that last possession and kind of what you saw, what was going through your mind, and just take us into a glimpse into your world?
I knew I was gonna take the last shot. Coach sent everybody to the baseline. I kind of struggled a little bit throughout the game, but the team kept us in it and kept my confidence high. I had full confidence shooting the shot, and it went down. So, got the win.
Rondel, how about the team performance today? What did you think? What was the vibe today for you?
Coming into this game, we saw it as a great game going into Big 12 play. Something to give us a little glimpse of what it's going to be like night in, night out. And today we just battled today. So kudos to our teammates and our coaching staff for getting prepared for this game.
All right, members of the media, if you have questions for Rondel Walker or Cade Cunningham, please click raise hand and we'll try and get to everybody. Again, please address the question to the person who you want to answer it. Our first question is going to come from Jacob Unruh from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Cade, on that final shot, was that kind of what the play was? What was the play there?
I don't know what coach called. I just knew come down to score. So, that was pretty much what my mindset was. I just knew I had to score the ball, man. So thank God it went in.
The Dennis is kind of their marquee defender. To hit it over a defender like that, what does that mean to you to kind of get that over a guy that hangs his hat on defense?
We can't hear you for real.
Can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you better.
All right, sorry. I'm actually right behind you guys. Hi.
Yeah,
that's their best defender at Wichita State. To hit it over a guy like that, what does that mean for you this early in your career? A guy that hangs his hat on defense.
I didn't really pay too much attention to who was in front of me. He really did play great defense the whole game. And the Wichita State team, they played really well throughout the game, but they gave us a good battle. So kudos to them. But, I didn't really worry too much about the defender. I just knew I had to make a shot.
Were you frustrated at all with your offensive game today?
Not really. Not really. I know there's games you're going to make shots. There's games, the ball won't go in as much. I think it was hard for me to be mad because my teammates, they stepped up and, they just continued to show that we have, great pieces throughout the team. And, we played a great game today.
I've asked you about your ability to close games. How do you stay patient on a day where shots aren't falling?
I put in so much work. I've spent so much time in the gym. I've got up so many shots that, a couple don't go through. I'm not really too worried about it. I know I put too much work in for it to stay that way. So, shooting the next shot with confidence is the best thing you can do, and that's what I did.
And Rondel, what did you kind of see on that last play?
Sure, we all knew it was gonna happen. We all knew who was taking the last shot. We was in our minds, it's gonna be a make. So we're still going to crash and went through. Our next stop after that was to get a stop.
Awesome. Thanks, Rondel. Thanks, Cade.
Appreciate you.
Our next question is going to come from Marshall Scott of Pistols Firing. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, Cade, I guess there was a pretty long timeout before their last free throws and then your shot. Kind of what were you guys talking about in that timeout? Was that more of a defensive kind of talk there?
What timeout you talking about?
Right before they hit free throws, they hit the 2 free throws, and then you came down and hit the game winner.
I think the biggest thing, making sure we got a good shot on offense, and then just closing the game, closing out possessions with rebounds, and keeping them in front of us. And we closed out the game pretty well. So that was the biggest thing I was happy of is, how disciplined we all stayed, and we got to stop it there.
Okay. And you shot just 2 field goal attempts in the second half. Was that a conscious effort on you to not force things, or kind of what went into the mindset of that?
I just, shot the shots that they gave me. There was a couple times I kind of tried to force the issue, which caused me to turn the ball over. But, they helped a lot, and my teammates were open. And, I have a ton of trust in my teammates. I know they're going to make shots. And so, yeah, that was pretty much the main thing.
Gotcha. And then for Rondel, Isaac, he seemed to just, really kill it on the offensive glass in particular tonight. What does that say about him that he's able to, kind of keep you guys afloat if you guys are struggling from shooting early?
Ice is just a versatile player. He takes what the game gives him. He feeds off what we need. So we need offensive rebounds or any rebound, any assist. He's that guy for us. So anything we need, he takes it upon himself to do his best effort to do whatever we got to do to get a win. And today did rebound at a high level today, and the outcome was a win for us.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
We'll go back to Jacob Unruh from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Hey, Rondel, how do you guys feel like you responded to some of that adversity today? This is kind of the first like real road test other than Marquette, and there's fans here. It got kind of loud at times. How do you guys feel like you responded to that?
I feel like we responded pretty well at times. You know, we kept the lead the whole second half, right? Yeah, we never down.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Maybe 1 point.
we always kept the game close. We talked it out throughout everything. We kept to stay within our team, you know, count on each other. And today we stuck to the game plan, and it led us to a W.
I feel like that's kind of an advanced step for you guys being such a young team.
Yeah, for sure. Just weather and respond together. You know, don't let one person stick out, like, and everybody like count on each other and come together for a win.
And for you today too, Rondel, you had that same energy, came in. You're really aggressive that first half. Was that a conscious effort on your part, or what?
I just took what the game gave me. You know, every game is different, and today I just took my opportunities to the fullest, and my teammates did a great job giving me the ball, and I just did my best to put it to the net.
And Cade, I don't know that we've got to ask you about what you think of the way Rondel's played through 6 games now.
I mean, I've known Rondel. I played at AU with Rondel, so, you know, I think I already knew what he was going to bring. I think it was just, you know, the fans and Oklahoma State fans and stuff like that didn't really know. So it was no surprise to me. I'm glad, you know, he got the opportunity to come in and play huge minutes. And, you know, I knew he would do nothing but take advantage of that and, you know, not use it for granted. So he's coming in hooping, and you know, I can't ask for anything else.
And I'm going to ask you just because I know it's a big week coming up with TCU and Texas. For you personally, you got Mike Miles and Greg Brown. What do you think about facing those guys next week?
It's going to be fun. You know, me and Rondel, we played with both of them last year at AAU, so, you know, it's definitely going to be a fun time playing against them, but friends off the court for sure.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, Del, I got one last question for you. So going into this game, there was a whole lot of talk, a whole lot of chatter about three-point defense. Second half of this game, you hold Wichita State to 1 for 14 from 3 on their home floor. What changed? What was different?
We just knew that it came a point in time to where we can't let that happen every game. So that was definitely a primary focus. And they had 2 guards, but that's what they primarily wanted to do. And in order to win games, you got to try to shut out what they want to do, take what they want to do and make them do what we want to do. And we made them drive and make them make difficult plays that they didn't want to make. And today we just stuck to the game plan really well, and that was the outcome of the game.
How much of that is mentality versus ability? You know what I'm saying?
It's definitely all basically like a heart thing. You know, the coaches do a great job of drawing up a game plan for us. And that's tough. I'm sorry. The coaches do a great job of us drawing up a game plan, and we just got to go stick to it. And they can coach all they want off the court, but on the court, it's up to us to execute the game plan. And it's just the mentality that we have in our heads that we got to do in defensive end. Everything else is take care of itself.
All right, fellas. Well, that'll do it for questions. But do you feel like there's maybe anything that we missed that was important that you guys would want to talk about while we've got everyone here?
Bernard Kuma came in, gave us big minutes, even though they didn't show up on the stat sheet. So appreciate Bernie. M.A. came in, had great minutes, whole team. Dudes that didn't play were loud on the bench. It was just a great team win in general.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys as always. Congrats on the win and safe trip home.
Appreciate it.
I get one.
I got to the view of it.
Yeah. Hold on.
All right. Well, another hard-fought win, another road win over a quality non-conference opponent. What did you see? Can you take us through the game a little bit?
It's hard to go through the game at this point. A lot of emotion, right? But proud of our kids. 3 road wins this early in the season. Doesn't happen often, and so it's a lot for us to learn from. But I'm proud of our resilience. Our kids played really, really hard against a really good opponent. And I told our guys in the locker room, I'm not sure how many teams have come in here in the last 10 years or so and won. And this is one of the most successful programs in college basketball in the last decade. So I'm sure some people say it's just Wichita State. Wichita State's a really good program, and I'm proud of our young guys for coming in here and bowing their necks and making the plays down the stretch to get out here with a win.
All right. Members of the media, if you have questions for Coach Mike Boynton, please click raise hand, and we'll try and get to everyone. Our first question is going to come from Jacob Unruh from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Hey, Mike, kind of walk us through that last shot by Cade. What'd you call there? What'd you see there?
So when I knew they were going to tie, initially I was going to take a timeout, but, you know, there really wasn't a need. I knew what I wanted to run. I knew I wanted to space the floor. I had the guys on the court that I knew I wanted to have on the court. And I wanted to get some movement early so that the defense wasn't totally set. And then we had to decide whether we liked the matchup that he had or whether we were going to try to cause some confusion with the ball screen. And my initial thought was I was going to send a screen to him to try to create some rotation. But after about 6 or 7 seconds, I adjusted the matchup, and I liked his matchup best and just told him that he had an opportunity to go create offense. And really, really good players, made good decisions, and obviously he showed why he's one of the elite players in the country today.
I mean, you're not going to lose faith in him if he struggles offensively. I know that, but what does it say that he can go do this on a day that he doesn't really have his shot?
That he's worked really hard. The easiest way to lose confidence is to not work hard, because the moment things don't go your way, you start to have question marks as to your ability to get the job done. He's worked so hard and has so much confidence in his ability that he doesn't fear having a tough first half or not scoring as much. He actually had a pretty good first half. He struggled mostly through the second half just because they were crowding him a lot. But down the stretch, when the game was on the line, and we've talked about this ad nauseum, he's going to have the ball in his hands, him or Ice, most likely, to go make a decision for a team winning the tie game like that.
How do you feel that you guys responded to all the adversity, that not necessarily getting all the calls you want? There's a loud crowd actually here, all that, and they keep battling back. How do you feel like you guys responded to that?
I mean, first of all, I got a lot of respect for Wichita State. Their fans couldn't wait to come. Right? I think it's the first game they had fans, and they have a program that they expect to see have success, and so they showed up like that. There's a lot of things that our guys had to deal with. Just 2 officials, right? It's the first time I've seen that since probably maybe my JV year, high school, playing basketball back in like '96. Other than like playing intramurals back at Stephen F. Austin or something, but our guys stood really tall, made the plays down the stretch. We rebounded the ball really well, which was something we talked about having to do. And so I was really proud of our effort and our resilience throughout the game.
Real quick, how does it change the game with just 2 officials? And I'm not asking you to criticize these guys. I'm just saying, how does that change things?
No, I'll be honest. And it's probably easier for me to say this after a win, but I thought those guys did a pretty good job considering. I would imagine they're trained. John Higgins, I think, said he hadn't done this in 20 years. Coach officiated the game with just one other guy. So your eye is trained to view the game one certain way or watch one certain area. And so they certainly missed some things, but I don't think it was blatantly obvious that they were doing it intentionally, as much as they just hadn't got the training that they needed with a 2-man crew. The one call that sticks out the most to me is Bernie's illegal screen that actually no one used because Cade rejected the screen. And so I think part of it was that guy maybe not used to watching that play in that area and just assumed that he saw something that didn't happen. But other than that, I thought our guys stuck together well. Even when they made runs, it was positive energy in our huddles. And you got a bunch of happy kids in the locker room right now.
Thanks, Mike.
Our next question comes from Marshall Scott from Pistols Firing.
Yeah, Mike, you had a long timeout before they hit free throws, and then Cade goes down for the game winner. Is that timeout more defense-based? What goes on during that timeout?
Yeah, definitely defense-based. And again, it was more the mindset coming in that we have to get stops. We had done a pretty good job defending them. We gave up a few offensive rebounds late in the game, and we actually fouled them unnecessarily a few times, which really stymied our defensive numbers for the game. But it was really just to stay focused on that. We're preparing for Big 12 play. Today felt like a Big 12 game. The intensity, the physicality, got teams making plays on both sides. And so I'm, again, proud of our guys as we head into Big 12 play to be able to find a way to win a game like this on the road.
It would have been unlikely, I guess, that they would have showed a zone look to you there at the end to try to kind of throw you off. Do you have a zone call in play, like if that does happen, or kind of what goes into that?
Yeah, that was actually the only thing we talked about in that last time out offensively was because we, for some reason, and I've got to do a better job of getting our zone offense cleaned up. Our timing's not there, but I talked about exactly what I wanted to do if they played zone. But obviously they went man because it was a tie game. I'm sure they didn't want to give up a wide open 3. But again, big-time player stepped up and made a big-time shot for us.
Then you had Avery back for his first minutes in a while. What did you think of him? Obviously a little limited, but he seemed to have a good game.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I wasn't sure what to expect from him. It's hard to go 3 weeks without playing a game. The rhythm, the timing, it's a rhythm game, and so I wanted to try to get him in there in the first half and see how he did. He did okay. So we got him in there in the second half, especially for our defense late when they got some little guards who could make plays. And I have as much confidence in him guarding the ball as I do anybody else.
Was Caleb not starting discipline based? Did you just like a matchup for Burn better? Kind of what went into that?
Again, it's something we evaluated after the first 5 games. About always start the same thing we talked about a few days ago. Bernie's stat line will tell you that I'm an idiot. Right? He had 3 fouls and a turnover. That's all the stat sheet says. But his 12 minutes were invaluable. We got off to a really good start offensively. Go back and watch. He gets guys open. He's a big man as a screener. And, I think the officials think he screens even when he doesn't, apparently. But he did a really good job of setting the tone for us physically inside. And I thought his 12 minutes were really, really valuable to us.
Thanks, Mike.
Our next question comes from Grant Ramirez from the Ocala. Go ahead, Grant.
Hey, Mike. Cade didn't take a shot in the second half until really late in the half. Are you kind of telling him to be more aggressive during that, or are you kind of just trusting him enough to know when he should pick his spots?
There's a delicate balance. There's a combination of things there. Now, obviously, and this is going to happen a lot, the game plan was to stop him. They were sending the second and third defender every time he tried to dribble penetrate. And what he's going to do is make the right play. He didn't make the right decision, but he was trying to make the right play throughout the second half. But again, with a team like ours, the way we're built, we believe Isaac Likely is a pretty damn good player. And so if you're going to not guard him, then he's going to be able to have the impact that he had today. Rondel Walker's shown some offensive prowess. And so, is he the guy still late in the game that has the ball in his hands? Absolutely. But am I concerned that he's not getting a ton of shots every night out? I think we'll adjust from game to game based on how teams try to guard us.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, let's go back to Jacob Unruh from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Mike, you were talking about Bernard a little bit ago. How much has he improved since he's arrived? It looks like he's kind of trimmed down and gotten a little faster.
Yeah, I think he lost a person along the way to get here. He was about 285 when he arrived on campus in July. And it took him a while to get physically ready to practice. I mean, he couldn't practice for probably the first 3 or 4 weeks that he was here. He just physically couldn't get through 2 hours of physical activity. And he's dropped about 35 pounds, mostly to his credit of changing the way he eats, of going extra after practice and getting on the treadmill for 20 minutes, even on days where he doesn't want to. But the thing I'm most proud of him is there's no expectations of himself in terms of what he should be doing for our team. He totally trusts our staff. He does everything we ask. He works his tail off in practice every day. His teammates love him. And you can see why he has value. He can go out there and be a big body and be a physical presence, help our offensive creators be able to create offense. And again, he's a guy whose role, I'm not sure offensively how much it'll evolve because he's never going to be a playmaker for us, but his presence can be an evolving thing for our team as we move forward in the Big 12.
And on a different topic, with Avery back, you were able to get 3 point guards on the floor a few times there. How much do you like that lineup?
I like it a lot. I almost feel sometimes like I got a luxury because I don't know if you saw the last 4 minutes of the game. I really played Ice and Cade as the 4 and 5, something we talked about before with Bryce, Rondel, and Avery out there. But I don't really lose a whole lot defensively. And then they had no choice then but to take their bigs out of the game because they would have to have one of their bigs guarding one of those 2 guys. Something we need to continue to evolve as a lineup we like moving forward in the Big 12 play.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.
Coach, so many unknowns this year. I mean, scheduling is topsy-turvy. You've got such a young team that you haven't really seen play at the D1 level until now, but here we are now at the beginning of Big 12 play. What do you think about what you've got? What do you think about what you've seen?
I love our team. I love the pieces individually. I like us even more collectively. And when we have the energy and the emotion that we had today going on the road, kind of playing with our backs against the walls, certainly had a few fans, but not many people in orange, right? In a normal year, I would imagine we would have had a few hundred people come up here and watch us play, and it probably would have been a sold-out game. But our guys have faced that adversity every step of the way, shown a lot of resilience, continue to believe in each other and believe in our staff. And I can't say enough how proud I am of them that they've answered the call every time out so far.
I mean, and this non-conference portion of the schedule has really been beneficial, maybe more than it would be in even other years.
There's no question. And, obviously we got one more non-conference game on the schedule, not for a while, but the non-conference in my mind is always to prepare you for conference season. And we've seen a little bit of everything. We've been on the road multiple times. We've been at home a few times, and we've answered the call every way. We've had different guys play well for us. I've getting a lot of questions lately about Isaac Likely and where he is. And has he deferred too much? Ice is a winner. That's where his value is. The kid cares about winning. He got 5 offensive rebounds today. That's 6'4", 215 because he cares. Got a high care factor. He's the leader of this team. Cade's our best player. There's no question about it. But Isaac Likely is the guy. He's the leader. He's the pulse of this team every single day.
Well, Coach, that'll do it for questions. But do you feel like, while we've got the group here, is there anything maybe that we missed or something important that you would want to touch on?
No, I mean, I didn't get any questions about our 3-point defense today. I was waiting for those.
Rondel actually got a question on that. They were 1 for 14 shooting threes in the second half on their home floor, and that was all the talk going into this game, right?
Okay, yeah. It's something we obviously addressed, and they got a couple guys who can make them too, and we let them get loose in the first half. But we did a much better job of securing that area of the court. It's something we need to learn from. It's a young team that's got to continue to find out how to win, right? And sometimes you got to find out how to win by giving up a bunch of threes. Sometimes you got to find out how to win by getting yourself to the free throw line and taking care of the basketball. And we've done a little bit of all of it to start the season. So awfully proud of our guys.
Well, Coach, we're so thankful for you. We appreciate you. Congratulations on the win. Have a safe trip home.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Members of the media, thank you as well. We're always appreciative of you.